People are logging in. Hey, everybody. Josh, turns out shipping a telescope to Taiwan these days costs as much as the telescope. Josh, I used to live in Taiwan back in the 90s, and it always did. It was crazy.
So it hasn't changed.
Well, yeah, of course, all shipping got more expensive. So, but yeah, and that's translating to everything. You could ship a coffee pot to Taiwan and it would cost probably more than the coffee pot is, so that's the reason why I used to do a turnaround. I told you about this. I used to do a turnaround trip about every 2 to 3 weeks to Taiwan.
Right.
I did it for 6 years. And so I was always carrying stuff back and forth as like gifts, for people that, from everything, I remember when fax machines were becoming popular, and they were hard to get in Taiwan in the early 90s, without spending a fortune on them, and you could go to, an electronics store and buy a fax machine for a couple of $100 back then. So, and it would cost like $1,000 in Taiwan for something like that.
I can remember my dad, I came home one day, probably about 1979, maybe 78, 79. And Dad had this big old box on top of the dining room table. I asked him, what's that? And he said, that's a facsimile machine. I said, oh, what?
What the heck is that?
And he said, well, I've got this hooked up to the phone cable and I can take this, and he just showed a piece of paper, and I can put it in here and it'll scan it and send it to the West Branch. He worked for First National Bank. And I said, why? And he said, well, because I don't have to drive it and I don't want to have to mail it, but there's anyone around the world with one of these. And I said, what'd that cost? He says, a lot. And he ended up had buying two, one for the downtown branch, the main branch, and one for out there. And he tells the story, the bank president got mad at him because he spent so much money.
Yeah.
And 6 months later, he ordered one for his office.
Right.
Yeah.
Necessary.
But it was, Scott, it literally was about the size of your desk.
Yeah. Yeah. You saw a lot of that really interesting technology, being in the paper business all that time. So.
Dad went from running a linotype, hot lead type, on 1883 Mergenthaler linotypes, hot lead, and switched from that to running ATMs. Installed the first ATM up here at a bank. And the big discussion was whether it should be 1s and 5s or 5s and 10s. And all the ladies, everybody thought it should be 1s and 5s because nobody would be comfortable getting more than that out of a machine.
This interacting galaxy duo, called ARP-143, holds the distorted star-forming spiral galaxy NGC-2445 at the right, along with its less flashy companion, NGC-2444, at the left. Astronomers think both galaxies pass through each other, igniting the unique triangular-shaped firestorm of starbirth. Because NGC-2445 is rich in gas, the fuel of star formation, it holds thousands of infant stars, yet it hasn't escaped the gravitational clutches of its partner. The pair is waging a cosmic tug-of-war, and NGC-2444 appears to be winning. The galaxy has pulled gas from its companion, forming the oddball triangle of newly minted stars. By studying head-on galaxy collisions like this, we can better understand the origins and evolution of ringed star formation in galaxies.
Hello, everybody. This is Scott Roberts, and I've got Kent Mars here with me. And
Hey, everybody.
we're with Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance. And thanks for all of you guys that are chatting there. It's nice to see everyone. I forgot to refresh the chat box that I see. Okay. And so I'm seeing chats from the Global Star Party from last night. And but let's see if I can find where we kind of started here. It looks like, geez, I can't even tell exactly where we start here, but I can see that people like Beatrice is on with us. Richard Grace is on. Richard might have been the first one to log in today. Aaron, Tesha Music. Oh, Tech Music Dude.
Music dude.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Anyways, Aaron, thanks for coming on. Beatrice Hines is on. Mike Wiesner says, howdy from cloudy, windy Oracle, Arizona, getting periods of rain, ice pellets, and snow. That's what we're getting here. So
No, we don't have periods. We have inches of it. It's a couple of inches of sleet and frozen rain. It's
and it is slick outside. So a lot of people that did not have to be in our offices today are at home. So we're kind of having like this snow ice day. So it might happen also tomorrow too. I don't know what the situation looks like tomorrow. But tomorrow I'm supposed to fly to Tucson, or actually to Phoenix, and then I'm going down to Tucson to meet up with Mike Wiesner, and we're supposed to go to do kind of a side inspection for the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party. So there may not be a couple of, we may not broadcast on Thursday and Friday. So just kind of giving you a heads up on that. And then again, we might. So we'll have to see if we can get everything connected up and do some sort of programs. But we have Chris Larson here. And who else is with us? Jeff Wise, of course, and Harold Locke. Howdy, good starred people. Josh Kovac, turns out we were talking about the shipping a telescope to Taiwan. Shipping it anywhere. I mean, shipping it from Oklahoma to or Arkansas to Oklahoma is expensive these days too. Space Time with Roberts. Good to see you on, man. Hello, all watching from cloudy, windy Bellingham, Washington. A lot of the country is getting kind of nasty weather right now. So
yeah, Scott, I was looking. It's supposed to start snowing late tonight, snow all day tomorrow. So, what time's your flight out?
10:45.
Are you just going to leave your truck there?
I think so.
Yeah.
The other thought was I might Uber, but I don't know if an Uber can get to the house. So we'll have to see. Gideon Sanders is watching. Sentil Nagapan's watching. That might be his son, Nav, I never know. Okay. But a couple of things. One, just some comments from the Global Star Party last night. We had Igor from Russia watching, and he said it was cool to meet people I love, which I thought was just great, So, if we set aside all the craziness that's going on in the world, astronomy gives everyone something better to think about, I think.
It's one sky, Scott. We have one sky. When we all look up, we look
one
at the
planet
same
that we're
moon.
living on. We're all breathing this same air. I mean, there's all these things that just seem so tongue in cheek, and you just go, yeah. But guess what? It's all happens to be true. Okay, so and I think that the psychological effect of exploring the sky has a huge benefit for people, and it's almost immediate. You could probably take the craziest person in the world and have them look up at the sky, and they'll feel better. So, and I think that the world needs to do more of that. Maybe we should have an international look up at the stars night. Okay. And people just write down their initial response somewhere. So, but that's kind of a little bit what Global Star Party is about. So
That's cool. We had somebody from Russia. Is that a first that you're
I
aware
don't
of?
think so. I don't think so. I think we've had people on from Russia before, but this one just kind of sticks out right now, with
Right, because everything going on.
yeah, just kind of the political climate of what's going on. So, which, given the scale of things, let's just think of like the worst things you can think about right now: pandemic, political struggle, war, famine, genocide. I mean, just the worst things you can think about. And then let's zoom out into space so far that you see Earth as a pale blue dot again.
Yeah, a blue marble.
Yeah. Now, how important are those things? They're not important at all.
Well, for the
They're not important at
survival,
all.
for the
It's like,
survival,
if you were an alien watching that, you could somehow tune in to what's going on down to the pale blue dot, and you'd be going, "What the heck? What are these people doing?"
the survival of that pale blue dot is on us, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
that's-
at least for us, Earth has been hit by major asteroids. I mean, the continents have been ripped off and peeled off like an
That's
orange
correct.
core.
Yep.
Okay. Guess what? Life keeps coming back. We can't destroy the Earth. We can rid ourselves off the planet. That's for sure. But we have some brilliant people, beautiful people, and the imagination and creativity that people have are our way out. And so, so that's all I'm going to say about that. But anyhow, Scott gets on his soapbox sometimes.
we all do. We have a bully pulpit. We should use it sometimes.
You should use it. That's right.
Yes.
That's right. And I know the people that watch the show feel that way. So that's cool. Let's see. Gideon Sanders says, we can't destroy the Earth. However, the opposite is very much possible. That's true. The Earth can take care of us. That's true. So, but being it's a kind of a snowy, icy day, what we do here is a little bit different. We have to take over, when there's very few people in the office, we have to take over different aspects of what's going on here. I know Kent's been very busy today, as he always is. But some of the things that we couldn't do, we couldn't have an Amazon Live program today. Okay. We had people that had to go home and make sure that that they were ready for an ice storm. So
we had an Amazon Live today.
Oh, you did?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, we did. We pulled it off.
Okay, I thought that was not going to happen.
Nope, it
All right,
happened.
well, that's good. That's good. So,
and we did a Facebook Live before it too. So
well,
there you go.
And I guess I should just shut up.
No, don't shut up. You were busy doing something else and didn't catch that.
I was.
That's okay.
So some things that we have been working on that's kind of more Explore Alliance related is, we're still moving the needle on getting to events for that Explore Alliance members can enjoy, like the Arizona Dark Sky Star Party. There has been talk about, about the library lending telescope program and stuff like that I've talked to various people about. That is a fantastic program that libraries have engaged in, where, I guess if you just have a library card, you can check out some of these telescopes. And apparently there's hundreds of libraries that are involved in this. So I've known about this for some time, of course, but there's, we may get involved with it in one way or another. We already are involved in an educational program with the Galileo Scope. And the thing that's cool about this is that, well, it's not a very big telescope. And by the way, Galileo Scope was not very big either, but it does come, you can access observing programs and stuff like that. And you can teach kids or adults how a telescope actually works by building one. So that's kind of a cool thing. So there's some things in the background about maybe taking that to the next level. And what else were we working on today? We always have customer service things that we work on. So sometimes it can be a challenge when someone is expecting X and they get X. Okay, so the preconceived ideas about what people can have about a product or the way something works or what they should have got or those kinds of things sometimes are a challenge. But you have to look back, when you're working in customer service, you have to look at, okay, you want that customer to be happy, engaged. You want them to be observing the sky, is what you want them to do. And, this is the reason why we build this. And for instance, for example, we don't build washing machines. Okay. We're not into, I suppose there's people that are just really super into, how they wash clothes, but we do telescopes so that you can explore. And the things that might get in the way of someone exploring could be things as simple as a late delivery. It could be all these kinds of things. So there's matching up that business side and the customer support side to someone's enjoyment of the sky is from time to time has its challenges, but that's why we employ customer service people, and we employ good ones. So and they are constantly thinking about, okay, I'll put myself in that customer's shoes. What is it that I need to do, to make that to make it satisfying? So that's our deal. So that is an always ongoing kind of deal with us. We do, instead of doing pre-recorded programs, we do live ones so that you guys can chat with us. Okay, if you have something to say, you have a question, those kinds of things, you can chat. I'm looking at the chats right now as they're coming through. I love recognizing you guys. We've made friends with many of you, even if we've actually never even seen each other. You get to see me, and you get to see Kent, but we still feel like these interactions are friendship building, and that's very cool, So anyhow, Josh Kovac says, well-designed maintenance manuals would be slick. Yeah. A lot of us in our industry don't do maintenance manuals, if you buy an airplane, I think you get a maintenance manual, for example. But we have given demonstrations. We do have how-to videos and stuff like that you can watch. So, and Joe Schmuckatelli says, if you can't see me, you need a bigger telescope. Well, we alluded last night, we are getting bigger telescopes. We will be the distributor for Norman Fulham's Dobsonians, and those go from 30 inches to 65 inches.
Those are bigger.
Those are bigger.
Those are bigger. Actually, Scott, I think those are big.
Really, for amateurs, they're the biggest that I think you can just commercially buy. But I don't know if you guys all saw this last night, but this is the website. Let me maximize that a little bit. There we go. Norman is just, he's just an amazing guy. And he was on last night on Global Star Party. Norman and I have known each other for several years, maybe 15 years or so. And we became like instant friends. Sometimes that happens. You just meet someone and you become instant friends. But Norman, he comes from, he has a music background, is very creative, but his life story of, the depths of, he had his dark days, and telescope building and astronomy saved this guy. And so, I love where he is right now in his life. I don't know that I would have loved to have had to deal with his dark days so much. but I certainly would have understood. But let's look at some of his telescopes here. Now, Norman loves visual observation. He really does. And he does it with some of these giant telescopes. So 30 to 65 inches. That's Norman right there, standing up to one of his folded Newtonians. That one
is a small one.
Yeah. That's not, I mean, that's probably a 30 or 40 inch telescope right there. Not the biggest that he has. So it says, view the photo gallery. Let's go there. Now, Norman started building these beautiful wooden telescopes, which I think you can still get one from him. They're expensive. They're made out of these beautiful, he likes exotic woods and stuff like that. That azimuth bearing is like a crescent moon shape. It's just beautiful. He even made like wood parts for the focuser and the finder scope holder and all of that stuff. So it's just super. And some of my friends have bought them and put them, in their homes. That's, of course, Norman back with his current folded Newtonian design. These have go-to systems and everything on them. This is just a standard Newtonian, so the kind that you would need like a ladder to get up to the eyepiece. The folded Newtonian has a bigger secondary, but a lot of them you can just walk up to and look through, which is not possible on other standard type of Newtonian.
That's just amazing.
Look at that. Now that's a big scope. And him making some of his big mirrors. He makes them soup to nuts. I mean, he builds these glass blanks, okay, himself. He fuses them under heat, and then he polishes them, and then he coats them. So you can't say, I've seen telescope manufacturing for years and years. I never saw anybody build their own primary mirrors. That's so cool.
It would be fun to go up and watch it happen.
Yeah, I've been there to his facility and saw some of that. So it's really cool. And he's very proud of that accomplishment. And well, he should be. He should be. Look at that beautiful open roof, slide off roof observatory. He sells telescopes to people that love to have that kind of setup. This is his booth. This is back before he had the big scopes. When he was at Northeast Astronomy Forum, which we should be going to this April. There's Norman again with one of his big telescopes with the shroud. You can see the secondary cage assembly.
Just beautiful. They're works of art.
Yeah.
And they're functional.
And these are pictures taken with his telescopes. That's through he didn't say exactly the model, but it's pretty detailed. I have seen better planetary images, but those are remarkable. And here's Norman in heaven looking through one of his giant Newtonians. So,
his role.
You can imagine what Orion and, your deep sky treasures look like through such a scope. But it's going to be fun. We should have these things up on our website sometime in March. And, whether you just kind of dream about it or if you get really motivated and want to make it happen, we'll be the support for that product. And we're really happy to be working with Norman. So that's awesome.
He lives in Canada, correct?
Yep, Quebec.
Right, Quebec. Right. I look forward to getting some here. Because we have to use the things we sell.
Warehouse is so full right now of product. It's really crazy.
But Scott, we have to use the things we sell. You tell us that.
You do have to use the things you sell. Maybe he'll bring one to one of our events. So we'll see. It's those telescopes are built per order. They're not going to be like clamshells, so you can just pick them off the peg, in a department store. These things are built for you, shipped to you, like that. And
Yeah,
such a telescope, you would buy a maintenance package and stuff like that too. So
yeah.
that's
There's none sitting in a factory waiting to be shipped.
no,
Right.
no. The ones that are in his factory right now are all sold. So,
Hey, Scott, the temperature's gone up to 20 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Yeah, I should probably put on a pair of shorts and a t-shirt.
Absolutely.
Flip-flops.
Exactly.
I guess if I lived in Antarctica, 20 degrees would feel pretty warm to me. But since I live here in Arkansas, 20 degrees feels really cold.
So it's summer in Antarctica. Let's see what the temperature is at McMurdo Station.
Okay. Which station?
McMurdo Station.
Oh, you're talking about in Antarctica?
Yeah.
Is that on your bucket list, Kent, to go to Antarctica?
I would go. Wow. Remember it's a fall. It's a spring. It's fall there. Current weather there is 16 degrees Fahrenheit right now. So it's basically the same temperature it is here. We're as cold as we are at McMurdo Station. It's going to get down to 6. Yeah, right now we're 4 degrees warmer than McMurdo Station in Antarctica.
Mm-hmm.
Let's try the South Pole.
Gideon Sanders says, why are some telescopes only made out of bars, not an enclosed tube? And Joe is right. It's lighter and cheaper. But the big reason why is because the optics cool down faster. Okay. You're not on a larger telescope, especially you get up to something like a 60-inch or even a 30-inch telescope. If you seal up, you have a sealed tube, then you have something called tube currents. And you can see what tube currents look like if you aim the telescope at a bright star. In fact, you can do this with a little telescope. Throw the star out of focus, and if you see what looks like rushing water or like a flume of light moving up like that, that's usually coming off the end of your telescope. And
it's basically a chimney, isn't it?
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Yep. Chimney
because
effect.
The chimney effect.
Yep. And so you want to let your scope cool down. Little telescopes some of them can cool down in 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Probably the longest I've seen for a amateur telescope to cool down, depending on what kind of design it is, it can be as long as 4 hours. Okay. But we don't build anything that takes that long to cool down. In the case of Norman Fulham's telescopes, because the mirror is built the way it is, it cools down in less than 1 hour. So that's pretty amazing.
Is it a honeycomb back?
No, it's didn't you see it? It's like sandwiched. Okay. So it's like a plate. Okay. That's on the bottom. And then he's got risers that are cut out of like thin sections.
I guess I missed that. Yeah. Missed that.
Okay. And then it's slumped. And this is a technique, this is his technique. This is his trade secret, his secret sauce, okay, on making a mirror, but he slumps it and then he polishes it. And so this takes out the time of making that mirror, okay, and he's not using as much glass, it's not as heavy, and it cools down way faster. So those are great benefits.
Yeah. I look forward to seeing one, actually using one.
Yeah.
At some point. So
where I have seen some of his bigger stuff in action was when I went up to Canada. So eventually we'll get up to Canada. We are having a very nice relationship with the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada. And, the excitement, currently the big excitement going on there right now is the youth activity, which is this Cosmic Generation program. And so we'll be using the vehicles of Skies Up magazine to help communicate what's going on with this youth program. I know that the Astronomical League is also very focused on youth in astronomy. And so we're trying to make it so that youth kind of has its own thing, largely managed by them, with support structure that adults can provide, so. And we want at Explore Scientific, we want to play our role in that too, because we feel responsible to do our part.
To bring up the people who will replace us in this industry. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. So
that's right.
We also have a couple other big events coming up, Scott, that we haven't talked about much recently.
Okay.
We've got 2 eclipses coming up.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And
we'll be talking about that more and more and more, but you got what's the date in October for the 2020?
23rd, I think.
23rd of October.
Let me look real quick.
I mean, the clock's ticking, folks. You need to get ready, okay, for this event. And that means you need to be looking at where you're going to go.
October 14th.
Yeah, you want your solar filter material. We can help you with some of this stuff. We're doing our part by hosting the Crossroads of the Eclipses Star Party, which you can join into. Once we have established pricing on that, I know it's going to sell out fast. I know that the Astronomical League is very interested in this, and the RASC is also very, very interested. So once we announce it, I don't know how quickly it'll sell out, but I imagine it'll sell out in a couple of months.
The place we're having has limited capacity, and people need to be aware. This is out in the boonies, right? I mean, there's an hour away, you can get some hotel rooms. I'm going to share this screen real quick. This is why we call it the Crossroads of the Eclipse Star Party. Now, I can't blow this up, but right there is where we're going to be.
Yeah.
Literally within a mile or two of both center lines. We're almost dead on where those 2 paths cross. And the annular will be coming this way. The solar eclipse will be coming up out of Mexico. And, we got as far south as we could get because, statistically, that's the best weather time. So, yes. These Crossroads of the Eclipse Star Party, it's going to be dry camping. We're working on logistics of, and security and, how do you handle 800 people or 1,000 people? And the roads are going to be jammed. We know what's going to happen. More people will see this eclipse theoretically than saw the 2017 eclipse.
Oh, well, absolutely. The numbers that were thrown away that I saw for the number of people actually saw totality in 2017 was about 230 million people. Okay. And this is expected to be over double that. So
just start making
over
plans
500
now.
Million people will
pray for clouds. I mean, pray for clear skies.
Pray for clouds.
Pray for clouds somewhere else.
That's right.
Do your cloud dance. Whatever it is you do that for clear skies in the eastern United States on that day. Yeah. For a beautiful bluebird day. It'll be spectacular, for the total eclipse. I look forward to seeing an annular eclipse. I've never seen one. I'm really looking forward to that. And the hard part is going to be that we're going to be doing administration while all this is going on. Because, there's a lot of administrative functions, but, we're there to see the eclipse too, just like everybody else will be.
Yeah. When the eclipse actually is occurring, which is just a few minutes.
Yeah.
You're on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You don't fall and break a leg, or else you're gonna have to wait 3 or 4 minutes for anybody to help you. So heart attack will probably warrant, CPR. But other than that, you're gonna have to suffer with a broken leg.
Yeah.
But the what was I gonna say? This is gonna be a star party. This is not just an eclipse event. We're holding star parties on both sides of the eclipse day because you can't get any darker of a moon than an eclipse moon.
Yeah. So Ken says, in my area, it's going to be a partial solar eclipse, October. Ken, don't cheat yourself out of seeing, an annular eclipse or a total eclipse. It's in the United States. Go.
Yeah, go. And that's why we're talking about this so early. So you can start making plans to come spend 3 or 4 days with us. We will have cool gear there. Absolutely. There probably are going to be giveaways and door prizes. and it's going to be a good time. Plan now to get down there,
Yeah.
and I don't know, we don't know where you live, but if you've never seen, and look, I've always wanted to see a total solar eclipse, but the first time you see it, it changes you. It's like an instantly, it's an instantly addictive drug. I want to see more, and I'll do, I'm going to make more eclipses before I, return back to this earth as earth,
Sure. Right.
because it is indescribable. It's hard to explain, but here's how I've explained it.
There's something else. I mean, and Kent's doing this right now. Once you've seen one, you want other people to go see it because it is that big of a deal.
You've heard me say this before, Scott. If daylight, okay, if you think of an eclipse as an ice cube, right? Run up to an eclipse. 95% is an ice cube you just took out of a deep freeze and set it on a table.
Yeah.
99% is that ice cube has been on the table for 3 or 4 minutes, right? 99%, almost totality. It's just that ice cube that's sitting there on the table. It's melted just a wee bit, maybe, right? Totality is boiling water, just like that.
Yeah.
It's not, and
I don't know. There is no analogy.
There's jump.
No analogy.
It's like it was an ice cube, and all of a sudden, it's just overwhelmingly different.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know.
For me, the impact of seeing a total eclipse, I will rate it right along with watching my firstborn being born. It was that deep of a thing.
It's hard to explain. It sounds, but everybody who sees one, there's people, somebody that we've talked to, their wife was drug along to an eclipse because husband made her go.
Yeah.
And as soon as the eclipse was over, she turned to him and said, "When's the next eclipse and where? We're going." So she went along, just
instant astronomer,
an instant eclipse chaser.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
An instant eclipse chaser. So
right.
All right.
Well, that's cool. So I know that we need to wrap things up. Both of us have to get home because of the weather situation here. We did want to touch base and let you know what's going on here at Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance. We will try to have something for you on Thursday and Friday, but if not, you know what's happening. So, and until we see you guys again, you guys keep looking up. Stay safe, stay warm if you can, if it's cold where you are, and as Astro Beard says, clear skies, man. So take care.
Clear skies, man. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.